Hello, my name is Brett Roberts, and the focus of my Action Inquiry project is using technology to differentiate reading for gifted students. The problem attached to this project is that many gifted students are not having their reading needs met by the school due to a lack of differentiation in the areas of book choice and higher level thinking projects could be used to assess the reading. This is a two-tiered problem. First of all, gifted students are not given enough autonomy in the books that they read due to a lack of books available in libraries that are both at their reading level or their interest level. There's also a lack of allowing gifted students to use higher level thinking projects that can be used to assess their reading. First of all, let's go over what a gifted reader is. A gifted reader is often someone who reads earlier than their classmates, has a higher vocabulary and comprehension level, and can progress through reading faster than the others. It is important that we meet the needs of these gifted readers. According to Churchill, gifted students are often left to figure things out for themselves because it is expected that they will exceed no matter what. Schools need to focus on finding reading materials and assessments that push gifted students and encourage them to become lifelong learners. The first issue with this project is that gifted readers are not given enough autonomy and book choice in their reading books. To attack this issue, the project plan is to incorporate ebooks into the curriculum. The breakdown of the ebook part of this project is the goal is an increase in the attitude, motivation, and challenge level of reading books. Ebooks need to be purchased for the students to check out and download books on. According to Zemlick, using technology is more effective for gifted students because it provides more of a challenge and it can fill in the gaps of normal classrooms. It is also more motivational for gifted students to use technology. The benefits of using ebooks in the classroom, according to Flanagan, Knapp, and Goodwin, are the texts are cheaper and they're quicker to download. Ebooks are also portable, they have Wi-Fi, they also have a dictionary and encyclopedia for students to look things up on. They also have a large number and variety of texts. These texts are available in different levels for gifted readers, and they can connect to diverse cultures and interests. All of these should increase the motivation level and the books available to gifted students. To evaluate the effectiveness of the program, there will be a survey presented at the beginning and the end of the year. The survey will measure overall attitudes towards reading, previous books that the students have read, and whether their intellectual and motivational needs were met. Success with this program will be an increase in overall attitude and motivational towards being recreational readers. The second problem of not having enough higher level assessments will have 3 implementation plans. The first plan is incorporating ebooks and the School-Wide Enrichment Model for Reading, or SEMR. SEMR, the goal of it is to differentiate and higher level assessments. SEMR is an assessment of reading strategy for all students. It is a school-wide program that is implemented in the regular classroom. It has 3 phases: mini group lessons, independent reading with interventions for both struggling and gifted readers, and then an end project that incorporates higher level thinking skills. The benefits of SEMR, according to Gilson, Little, Fermender, Reese, and Sweeney, is that it has differentiated interventions for gifted and struggling readers. It incorporates higher level thinking assessments, and it has been shown to increase reading comprehension, fluency, and attitudes towards reading. The evaluation of the program will be based on the studies done by Matthews, Richey, and McBee. The thing with SEMR is that immediate results are hard to measure because it takes multiple years to show full results. Assessments will be used at the beginning and the end of the year. These assessments and the rubrics for them are provided by SEMR. Success would be an increase in the achievement level. These rubrics can also be provided over multiple years to see student growth. The second implementation plan would also use ebooks and multimedia products. The breakdown of this, the goal is more student autonomy and higher level thinking assessments through the use of technology. Olthouse and Miller studied that students match their learning style and interest to an assessment format. This will drive motivation, especially intrinsic motivation. Technology formats are created and presented to a larger audience. Assessment tools need to be provided, modeled, and explicitly taught by the teacher. The teacher would also have to create rubrics that can be used to measure all of the different products. The benefits of multimedia products, according to Zimlick, Thomas, Alley, and Rosali, is it gives students autonomy, accountability, and encourages independent learning. Students can choose modern and interesting topics such as blogs or podcasts, and it gives students more autonomy in assessment, which increases their intrinsic motivation. Students can also connect to peers and authentic audiences outside of school by attaching their multimedia products to some sort of social media. The evaluation of the program will be based on rubrics that will have to be developed by the teachers. Most of the criteria in these rubrics should be the same, such as the content ones. This is the criteria that we use to track student progress. It should include higher and lower elements. Some of the criteria will have to be modified for whatever the media product is. The third and final implementation plan is also incorporating ebooks and online discussion groups. Online discussion groups, according to Thomas, take the traditional face-to-face literature circles that we all use in language arts and moves it to an online format. Teachers can use Google Hangouts or Zoom meetings for this. Partnerships will need to be established by the teacher with students outside of the school or community members. This creates a much wider and more authentic audience for different conversations. The process of participating in online discussions will need to be taught and modeled by the teacher, though. The benefits of this program, according to Thomas and Zimlick, is that it removes the constraints of a classroom to find higher ability audience. Many of our gifted students are in a heterogeneous classroom where they do not have many ability level peers. This provides a bigger audience and more ability level and interest level peers. It uses digital literacy, citizenship, and collaboration. Literature circles have been found enjoyable and beneficial for students, and it creates a social experience for reading. The evaluation of the program will be based on rubrics. Rubrics will need to be developed for students asking questions, answering questions, and participating in online discussions. Progress on this rubric can be tracked throughout the year or from year to year. Defense of the choice. All three of the implementation plans have bonuses, but online discussions is the strongest of the three, and this is why. SEMR does provide a choice in what students read through ebooks. It also provides differentiated discussions and interventions. What it lacks is a technology element to the assessments, a wide audience outside of the school of likability peers, and the time requirement. It does require 90 minutes per day, which most enrichment programs in gifted schools do not have. It also can take more than 1 year to see results. Multimedia products have the bonus of they incorporate lots of technology, there's a lot of intrinsic motivation, and students still have choice in what they read through ebooks and how they're assessed. What it lacks is socialization and high-level discussions. Online discussions provide choice through ebooks, collaboration through technology, higher-level discussions with ability-level peers or adults, and a social-cultural experience. Things to consider for teachers that might want to do online discussions is that the teacher does need to establish partnerships with other schools or community members, and they need to teach the students the protocols that will be needed for online discussions. Here's a sample implementation schedule for a 9-week online discussion project. Before the school year begins, the teacher and the school will need to purchase ebooks for students to use. These can be taken out of TAG funds for gifted students, but a proposal will need to be written. Teachers also need to develop partnerships with other schools, the high school, or community members that can participate in online discussions. Step 2 is weeks 1 through 4. In week 1, students complete an inventory of books they read, books they like, what interests them. In week 2, they choose the book that interests them and challenge them, and then they download it on the ebook. Students read their chosen book, and then they journal every time they read in weeks 2 through 4. Week 5 is our first assessment period. It's a midpoint checkpoint. Students will fill out a mid-discussion form so that they're prepared for their discussion. They'll give thoughts and predictions on the book, and students will participate in their first online book discussion, which will be assessed using a rubric. Step 4 is weeks 5 through 8, where students read the second half of their book and they continue to journal. Step 5, the next assessment period, as students finish reading their book, they'll either create a video, write a book, write a review, they could do a blog, they could do a podcast, you could add a lot of creativity through technology here, and students will participate in their final book discussion. Step 6 is the assessment, the evaluation period. There will be an evaluation reteaching portion. You need to assess the skills of your students. That is, how they do discussion, their ability to participate in an online discussion format, and read their journals, their blogs, their podcasts, listen to their podcasts, or watch YouTube videos that they create where they do a book review. You would then work on those skills so that they are better equipped for the next quarter. There will need to be adjustments for the fall with this. 1. Guidance through Zoom meetings and digital feedback will need to be more frequent and provided. Weekly meetings with students and even individual meetings will need to be had so that students can be prepared for their discussions. You also need to find creative means of finding books for students. You might be able to check out ebooks of some of the students, but you might have to have students use their tablets or their phones at home to find reading materials. You also need to establish a Google Calendar for book discussion meetings so the students get a notice and so that the people outside the school get a notice so that those meetings aren't missed. A Google Classroom would be highly valuable for teachers for student resources and rubrics to be posted for students to see. With everything changing in the fall, a lot of teachers are going to be looking for technologies that they can use in class. This would be a valuable one. There are also other valuable tools out there, such as having students create blogs or e-portfolio websites or do podcasts or YouTube videos. Whatever it is, a process such as this, where you look up relevant peer-reviewed journals and then you get the best information from them and develop a plan that would work for your school, is the best process instead of just jumping in and implementing something without the research. These are some highly valuable resources if you're thinking about implementing any of these plans into your school curriculum as a means of getting more technology into your language arts class for gifted students or, for that matter, for any students. I want to thank you for listening to this presentation on using technology to differentiate reading for gifted students. All 3 implementation plans have certain aspects that will be valuable in the classroom. SCMR is very valuable for all students, but it is a school-wide model, so it wouldn't be adopted by all the school levels. This and the time constraints make it not perfect for gifted students. Multimedia presentations are highly valuable in the autonomy and the technology that they implement, but there is no socialization, and it is hard for students to have discussions with ability level or interest level peers outside of their school. The online discussion format presents a chance for students to talk to people from other schools, from the high school, or from community members, or even college students who share interests with them and are of their ability. This will allow for better collaboration, better creative thinking, critical thinking, and it can raise our gifted students up to a level of thinking that they had never been at before. If this online discussion format is combined with the type of technology where the students can do a book review in a format that they had not done before, such as a podcast or a blog or a YouTube video, that would be another addition of technology that our students could use to show their learning, and it would be a motivational aspect for them because it would provide a social networking element to the assessment. This could help our students develop a learning community outside of their school that they could turn to when they need them. Ebooks are highly valuable for schools. Library funds are limited and the number of books in there do not always match the needs of our students. Ebooks are valuable because the amount of books on them is endless. There's new books being added all the time. The books on there are cheaper, they're easier to move, and there's a lot of valuable tools on an ebook that a student could use. Ebooks will be highly valuable for all students. Again, thank you for listening. All of these implementation plans could be effective in a school. I recommend that teachers look at their criteria that they need and the assessments that they're looking for to meet the needs of their students and adapt the one that would best serve those purposes.